Let me move to the Federal Reserve. I want to ask you about the revelations this week that the Department of Justice is investigating Jerome Powell and the Fed for allegedly going over budget in the Fed building renovations. Chairman Powell responded. He fired back at this. I want to play a little bit and get your reaction on the other side.
This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation.
Is President Trump committed to the independence of the Federal Reserve, Mr. Secretary?
Of course he's committed to the independence of the Federal Reserve, but independence does not mean no oversight.
But doesn't this undercut the independence of the Federal Reserve, that the Justice Department is investigating renovations? There are renovations at the White House.
The renovations at the White House are not the $700 million, more than $1 billion, $1.5 billion, the over budget, Kristen. And the White House, that is being paid for with private funds. If I want to buy a new chair for my office at Treasury, that is an appropriation. Just to understand, the Federal Reserve has magic money. They print their own money. So when you have no oversight, why not have a little sunlight? Kristen, I have called since last summer for the Fed to do its own internal investigation, and that has not been heeded. Not been heeded. And again, I don't know about you. When I receive if I were to receive inquiries from the Justice Department, I would answer them. They went unanswered.
Well, let me ask you, because Axios reported that you were not happy about DOJ's investigation, that you told President Trump as much. Axios writes, quote, a perturbed Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told President Trump late Sunday that the federal investigation into the Federal Reserve chair made a mess and could be bad for financial markets. That's according to two sources familiar with the call. Is that accurate?
Well, you know what, Kristen? I'm not going to discuss my conversations with the president, but if I said that, I was wrong. Financial markets, stock market went up, bond yields went down, so the markets are the ultimate arbiter. So the markets are the ultimate arbiter over whether the Fed's independence is being impugned, and bond yields went down. I can tell you, we had two of the best bond auctions that we have had in months for U.S. Treasuries, so the market is looking beyond this. And again, maybe the market wants some transparency from the Fed.
One final question for you, Mr. Secretary. Some Republican senators, as you know, are threatening to block the president's nominees over the Justice Department's investigation. Do you think the investigation needs to be dropped in order for the Senate to confirm the president's next pick to run the Fed?
I think that will be up to the senators.
But are you worried that they'll block the president's pick for the Fed?
I am not. I think we have four great candidates. I think that they will be quite happy with either of the four. I think we will move forward. I believe that we will probably be hearing from the Banking Committee soon on what they would like to see. And again, that supervision and bringing in some sunlight does not mean coercion.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.